Okay, in this tutorial of RaceTab, I want to show you how to use waves. So waves aren't very common. When they are used, they're used more in road races typically. Maybe you've got a marathon where you're starting the elite group in one wave and the next group in another wave. Or perhaps you have just a really big race and you can't start them all at the same time. Maybe it's even JV cross country race where you start one group where the gun goes off and they start. You line the next group on the line. They start 2 minutes later, and maybe even have multiple groups behind that. So this is how you do it in RaceTab. You're just on the Setup tab, click on Waves, and we're just going to create two waves here, Wave A and Wave B. You'll notice that it has an offset time. So that is the offset from the initial gun. So what we want to do here, we're going to leave Wave A with 0, and we're going to set Wave B 2 minutes, not 20 minutes, but 2 minutes back. And so that means the wave B is going to start exactly 2 minutes after wave A. And it's going to properly offset those athletes. Now, before I show any further, just understand what a wave is. A wave is essentially a group of athletes. So an athlete is assigned to a given wave. So you could potentially go into each athlete and you could select what wave they're in, save it, and put them all in one at a time like that. That probably doesn't make sense unless you were doing it as you were entering the athletes, maybe as they were being set up, as they were registering perhaps. It also could be imported from a delimited file from whatever external system you are using. But we also have a way within this interface back here in the Waves interface to pull athletes in after the fact. In this case, I'm going to do it based on teams. So I'm just going to pull in the Hollywood Hooligans here. We see there's 6 athletes in this group, and we're going to assign them to that wave. And then I'm going to go to Wave 2, and let's pull in the New York City Stars and Sebring High School. So now we've got our 2 waves, and they have an offset time, and they have athletes in them. So now, when we go over here to the Events tab, I want you to notice that Mahatma Gandhi here, his gun time, in other words, from the initial gun to when he finished, is 15:33. But he was in that second wave, which started 2 minutes later. So what we actually are looking for is his actual time from his net time, if you will, was 2 minutes less than that. So if we do the results here, we see he is appropriately adjusted as 15:30 or 13:33 rather than 15:33. One more thing to notice on the Setup tab is you can decide if you're going to do the net time, the time based on chip or wave start, or the clock time. If we do strictly the clock time, he would be back to the 15:33, but that isn't really accurate again because he didn't actually start until 2 minutes later. So again, that is just what we're after. So that's how waves work in RaceTab.